Welcome, my friends. Imagine for a moment that you are the captain of a small boat in the middle of a vast ocean. When the weather is fair, sailing is easy. You feel in control. But what happens when the sky turns black, the wind howls, and the waves rise high above your head? Most of us spend our lives terrified of these storms. We live in fear of our own anger, our sadness, our anxiety. We believe that to be strong, we must stop the wind from blowing. We think we must control the ocean. But a wise captain knows that you cannot stop the storm. You can only adjust your sails. Today, I want to talk to you about the storms inside you. I want to speak about the heavy burden of emotions and how, by trying to control them with force, we often end up drowning in them. There is a better way, a way of peace that requires no fighting at all. Let me share with you an old teaching, one that my teacher shared with me when I was a young man, full of fire and impatience. It is called the teaching of the second arrow. The Buddha once asked his students, "If a person is struck by an arrow, is it painful?" The students replied, "Of course, it is terrible pain." The Buddha then asked, "If that same person is struck by a second arrow, right in the same wound, is that not even worse?" The students agreed that it would be unbearable. In life, the first arrow is unavoidable. This is the arrow of existence. Someone insults you, you lose your job, or you stub your toe. This causes immediate pain. This is the first arrow. We cannot control the flight of this arrow. However, often when we are hit, we react. We get angry at ourselves for being in pain. We ruminate on the insult. We worry endlessly about the future. We say, "Why is this happening to me? It's not fair." This mental reaction, this is the second arrow. And the truth, my friend, is that we shoot the second arrow at ourselves. The first arrow is just a moment. The second arrow is the story we tell ourselves about that moment. That is where the suffering lives. To master your emotions is not to numb yourself to the first arrow, but to put down the bow so you stop shooting the second one. So, how do we do this? How do we put down the bow when the fire of anger is burning in our chest? It begins with a simple shift in perspective. You must realize that you are not your feelings. You are the space in which your feelings happen. Think of your mind as a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. When anger knocks on the door, do not bolt it shut. Do not fight it. Simply acknowledge it. Say to yourself, "Ah, I see that anger has come to visit." When you observe the emotion rather than becoming the emotion, you create a tiny gap, a space. And in that space lies your freedom. In that space, you can choose to breathe rather than shout. You can choose to walk away rather than react. You realize that emotions are like the weather they drift in. They stay for a while, and eventually, if you let them, they drift out. The goal is not to have a heart of stone that feels nothing. The goal is to have a heart so open that the storm can pass through without destroying the house. Today, I invite you to try this. When the storm rises, and it will pause, take one deep breath. Ask yourself, am I shooting the second arrow? Be kind to yourself. You are learning to sail, and it takes time. If this message speaks to you, like, comment, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this.